Everywhere you look today, people are carrying invisible pain, stress from work, pressure from society, heartbreak, regret, and endless overthinking. We hide it with smiles, but inside, it feels like we're breaking. Yet, there exists a way of living where pain loses its power. A way where your mind becomes so strong that no storm, no chaos, and no person can shake your inner peace. This is the path of the monk who lives where pain can't survive, and his story holds a wisdom that the modern world desperately needs. Stop letting stress control you. Train your mind, not just your life. Most people today try to fight stress by changing everything outside, working harder to make more money, chasing success, trying to fix relationships, or controlling how others behave. But no matter how much you change the outside, something new will always appear to disturb your peace. The truth is, stress doesn't live out there. Stress lives inside the mind, and unless you train it, the cycle never ends. The monk understands this deeply. You cannot stop the waves of life, but you can learn to surf them. When you strengthen your mind, the chaos outside loses its power over you. Peace isn't about living a life with no problems. It's about building the inner strength to face those problems without breaking down. Think of it this way. Two people can live the same life, face the same struggles, but one collapses under stress while the other remains calm. The difference is not in the world, it's in the mind. And once you realize this, stress no longer controls you because you finally hold the power. Turn anxiety into power through the breath. In today's fast-paced world, anxiety has become almost normal. Deadlines, notifications, constant pressure to keep up. Our minds are always racing. Most people, when anxiety strikes, either fight it with panic or try to escape it with distractions. But the monk does something different. He doesn't run and he doesn't resist. He turns to the simplest, most powerful tool he has, his breath. Breathing is something we all do, yet we often forget how much power it holds. The monk teaches that when the mind is burning with fear or worry, the breath can become a cooling river. Slow, deep, steady breathing signals to the body that it is safe, even in the middle of chaos. And once the body calms, the mind follows. Instead of anxiety controlling him, he uses it as fuel, as a signal to return to the present moment. Think about it. Every anxious thought comes from either the past or the future, what already happened or what might happen. But your breath only lives here and now. That's why it's powerful. By returning to the breath, you return to the present. Anxiety weakens and focus grows stronger. The monk transforms fear into clarity and panic into power, simply by mastering something as natural as breathing. Detach from what drains you. Not everyone deserves space in your heart. In today's world, so much of our pain doesn't come from life itself. It comes from people, toxic relationships, unfair expectations, and the constant demand to be everything for everyone. We give too much of ourselves away, our time, our energy, even our peace, just to keep others happy. But the monk shows us a different way. He loves deeply, but he does not cling. He cares, but he does not carry what isn't his to carry. Detachment doesn't mean you stop loving. It doesn't mean you become cold or selfish. It means you stop allowing others to control your emotions. It means you recognize that not everyone deserves space in your heart, especially those who only take and never give. The monk understands that attachment to toxic people is like holding on to a burning coal. You think you're keeping the connection alive, but really, you're only burning yourself. Modern life tells us that love means holding on at all costs, but true love, towards yourself and towards others, sometimes means letting go. Because when you let go of what drains you, you make space for what lifts you. The monk's wisdom is simple. Release what weighs you down, and you rise higher. Detachment is not the end of love. It's the beginning of freedom. Don't feed pain with overthinking. Shift your focus. If there is one silent killer in today's world, it is overthinking. We replay conversations in our heads 100 times. We worry about things that haven't happened yet. We compare ourselves to others until our self-worth feels smaller and smaller. Overthinking doesn't just create pain, it multiplies it. A small problem in reality becomes a giant monster in the mind. The monk understands this trap. He knows that the mind is like a magnifying glass. Whatever you place under it becomes larger. If you focus on problems, the problems expand. If you focus on peace, peace expands. Most people think they can stop overthinking by force, but the more you fight with your thoughts, the stronger they grow. The monk takes another path. He shifts focus. Instead of letting his mind circle the same painful story, he redirects his attention toward gratitude, compassion, and the present moment. Think about it. Have you ever noticed that when you're fully engaged, watching a sunset, laughing with a friend, or doing something creative, the overthinking suddenly disappears? That's the power of attention. Pain cannot survive where focus is filled with presence and meaning. In a world full of noise, your attention is your greatest currency. Don't waste it feeding pain. Choose wisely where you direct your thoughts, because what you water will grow. Water peace, water growth, water stillness, and watch how quickly overthinking loses its grip on you. The monk's wisdom is simple, but life-changing. You cannot control every thought, but you can always control what you focus on. And focus, when trained, is the key that unlocks freedom from pain. Silence is the weapon against chaos. Today's world is louder than ever before. From the moment we wake up, our phones start buzzing with notifications, news, and endless updates. Social media fills our minds with comparisons, and the constant noise of opinions and arguments leaves us drained. Most people can't sit in silence for even a few minutes. They immediately reach for distraction. But this constant noise comes with a price. It keeps the mind restless, and it leaves no space for peace to enter. The monk, however, lives differently. He treats silence not as emptiness, but as his greatest ally. For him, silence is a weapon, a shield that protects him from the chaos of the world. When others are shouting, he listens. When others are reacting, he waits. When the world is restless, he becomes still. In this stillness, he hears something that the noisy world has forgotten: the voice of wisdom. Silence has power because it reveals what is hidden. In noise, pain grows louder, but in silence, pain loses its voice. Thoughts slow down. Clarity rises to the surface. The monk knows that silence is not weakness. It is strength. It is the ability to master yourself when the world around you is spinning out of control. Imagine walking into a storm. The winds push, the rain falls, the thunder roars, but at the center of the storm is complete calm. That calm center is what the monk finds in silence. It's a place where no anger, no fear, and no anxiety can survive. And this place is not outside of us. It exists within each of us, waiting to be discovered. In a time when everyone is speaking, proving, and reacting, the monk teaches us that silence is the ultimate rebellion. It is where we recharge our energy, protect our peace, and see the truth clearly. If you want to rise above the noise of today's world, learn to sit in silence every day, because silence is not empty. It is full of answers. And in that stillness, you'll discover a strength that pain can never touch. Release resentment. Free yourself from emotional prison. Some of the deepest pain we carry isn't physical at all. It's emotional. It's the silent wounds that no one sees. Betrayal by someone you trusted, words that cut you years ago, the friend who abandoned you, the family member who never understood you. These experiences leave scars inside the heart, and because we can't see them, we often ignore them. But the truth is, they shape how we think, how we feel, and how we live every single day. Many people believe time heals all wounds, but time doesn't heal everything. Some wounds only grow deeper if we keep replaying them in our minds. Resentment is like carrying a heavy bag of stones wherever you go. Every grudge, every bitterness, every memory of how someone hurt you, another stone added to the load. You may smile on the outside, but inside, you are exhausted. This is why so many people feel drained without knowing why, because they are carrying the invisible weight of resentment. The monk understands this better than anyone. He knows that holding on to anger or hatred is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. The truth is, your anger doesn't hurt them. It hurts you. They move on with their lives, while you stay trapped in a prison built by your own mind. Forgiveness, then, is not about saying what they did was okay. Forgiveness is about saying, I refuse to let what they did destroy my peace any longer. Think of it like this. You're holding onto a rope with all your strength. Someone on the other side pulled it once, and it hurt you. But even after they let go, you're still gripping the rope so tightly that it keeps burning your hand. The pain is no longer coming from them. It's coming from your refusal to let go. Forgiveness is the moment you finally release the rope. And when you do, the burning stops. But here's what makes this lesson so powerful for the modern world. People today wear their pain like an identity. They say, I am this way because of what happened to me. And while it's true that pain shapes us, it doesn't have to define us. The monk shows us that you can transform your pain into wisdom, but only if you first forgive. Without forgiveness, the wound stays open and you keep bleeding into every area of your life, your relationships, your work, your self-worth. Forgiveness doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes, you'll have to forgive the same memory 100 times before it loses its grip. But every time you forgive, you loosen the chains around your heart. Every time you forgive, you reclaim a little more of your freedom. The deepest truth is this: forgiveness is not a gift to the person who hurt you. It is a gift to yourself. It's how you release yourself from the emotional prison that resentment builds. It's how you finally breathe again without the weight of the past crushing you. The monk lives in a place where pain cannot survive because he refuses to let the past poison his present. He knows that life is too short to be a prisoner of old wounds. And so, he forgives, not once, not twice, but endlessly, until peace becomes his natural state. And this is the lesson he leaves for us. If you want true freedom, if you want real peace, then forgive. Not because they deserve it, but because you do. Ego creates pain. Live beyond. Me, mine, myself. If you look closely at the root of almost all human suffering, you'll find one thing: ego. The ego is the voice inside that says, "This is mine. I deserve this. Why did they treat me that way? Why don't I have what they have?" It's the endless comparing, the constant defending, the hunger for recognition, and the fear of losing what we think belongs to us. Think about it. So much of today's stress comes from ego. We feel hurt when someone ignores us. We feel angry when our opinions are not respected. We feel jealous when someone else succeeds. We feel anxious when people don't see our worth. None of this pain comes from reality itself. It comes from the ego's need to constantly protect its little kingdom of me, mine, myself. The monk, however, has walked a different path. He has learned the great secret: the smaller the ego, the lighter the pain. When the ego dissolves, suffering has nowhere to live. He doesn't walk around thinking, "They disrespected me. They should admire me. I must win, I must prove myself. Instead, he sees life without the filter of ego. And in that clear vision, there is freedom. But how does he do this? How can we, in today's busy and competitive world, step beyond ego? The monk practices techniques that anyone can use if they are willing to look within. 1. Mindfulness of the self. The monk observes his thoughts like clouds passing in the sky. When the ego says, "I want to be praised," he notices it. When the ego says, "I am not good enough," he notices that too. By simply observing without clinging, he weakens the ego's control. You can do the same. Each time you catch yourself saying, "me, my, mine," pause. Notice it. In that moment of awareness, the ego loses its grip. 2. Compassion meditation, metta bhavana. The monk also practices compassion not just for himself, but for everyone, even those who hurt him. He silently repeats, "May all beings be happy. May all beings be free from suffering." By expanding love outward, he softens the hard walls of the ego. Imagine wishing well even to the person who insulted you. That is true strength. That is living beyond ego. 3. Remembering impermanence, anicca. The monk constantly reflects, "This too shall pass." The praise, the criticism, the wins, the losses, none of it lasts. When you realize everything is temporary, the ego's cravings and fears look small. Why cling to what will eventually fade? Why fight battles that time itself will erase? Impermanence frees the monk from the chains of ego 4. The empty cup technique. The monk approaches life like an empty cup. He doesn't walk into conversations needing to be right or to prove himself. Instead, he listens with humility, ready to learn. In the modern world, most people fill their cups with pride and defensiveness. That is why they suffer. But when your cup is empty, nothing can spill. You are free. Living beyond the ego does not mean erasing your identity or becoming passive. It means you no longer let your self-image rule your happiness. You still work, love, create, and dream, but without the constant voice of, "What about me?" guiding every step. And here is the deepest truth. When you live beyond ego, your heart naturally expands. You no longer see people as competitors, but as fellow travelers. You no longer cling to possessions as mine, but see them as tools to be used wisely. You no longer live trapped in fear of losing, because you realize there is nothing permanent to lose. The monk lives in a place where pain cannot survive, because he has stepped beyond the narrow prison of self. He has replaced me, mine, myself with we, us, all beings. And in that vast space of compassion, love, and humility, pain has no room to exist. This is the highest lesson of all. The ego creates pain, but letting go of ego creates freedom. If you can train your mind to see beyond yourself, if you can practice compassion, mindfulness, and humility every day, you too can touch this freedom. And when you do, you will discover what the monk has always known, that the deepest joy in life is not found in protecting the self, but in living beyond it. Become untouchable by pain. The monk's final mastery. We live in a world where pain seems inescapable. People betray us, opportunities slip away, dreams collapse, loved ones leave, and sometimes life feels like one endless storm. For most people, pain becomes their identity. They carry it like a badge, saying, "I am broken, I am unlucky, I am unworthy." And the more they repeat this, the deeper the wound cuts. But the monk who lives where pain can't survive knows a secret. Pain is real, but suffering is optional. Pain may touch your body, but it doesn't have to own your mind. The moment you stop feeding pain with constant thoughts, stories, and blame, it loses its teeth. It becomes a shadow that passes instead of a chain that binds. How does the monk do this? He uses 3 timeless techniques. 1. Dissolving pain with awareness. The monk teaches that most pain grows because we resist it. We fight it, deny it, or obsess over it. But resistance only adds fuel. Instead, he sits with it. He breathes into it. He looks at it directly. And something miraculous happens. The moment you stop running from pain, it starts running from you. This doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means seeing reality so clearly that the pain loses its ability to poison your heart. 2. Transforming pain into power. A monk once said, "The obstacle is not against you, it is your teacher." Every painful experience carries hidden strength inside it. Betrayal teaches independence. Failure teaches resilience. Loneliness teaches self-discovery. The monk doesn't curse the pain. He studies it. He extracts wisdom from it. And in doing so, what once felt unbearable becomes the very fire that forges unshakable strength. 3. Going beyond the body and the ego. The deepest monk technique is to stop identifying with the body and ego alone. Pain screams loudest when we think, "This happened to me. This is my suffering." But the monk expands his awareness beyond this me. Through meditation, he touches the timeless part of himself, the soul, the pure awareness that cannot be harmed. The body may ache, life may collapse, but the awareness remains untouched, like the sky that holds every storm without ever being damaged by it. And here's where it gets practical for our modern lives. When people insult you, let them. Their words only hurt if you let them define you. When life disappoints you, let it. Every disappointment is an invitation to grow beyond attachment. When fear visits you, welcome it like a guest. Let it come, let it go, but never serve it tea. This is the monk's final mastery, becoming untouchable by pain. Not because he escapes life, but because he sees life clearly. He doesn't numb himself, he doesn't hide, he simply refuses to hand over his mind to suffering. And when you reach this place, nothing in the world can break you. Problems may come, storms may rage, but inside, you remain steady, still unshaken. Like a mountain rooted deep into the earth, you become a presence where pain cannot survive. Life will always bring storms. There will always be stress, fear, negativity, distractions, comparison, and pain. Most people spend their lives trying to fight the outside world, controlling circumstances, chasing approval, avoiding discomfort. But the monk who lives where pain can't survive teaches us something radical. The real battle is not outside, it's inside. Every lesson we've explored leads to one truth. When you master your mind, the world loses its power to break you. Stress no longer controls you. Fear no longer paralyzes you. Negativity no longer infects you. Comparison no longer steals your peace. Even pain itself becomes powerless, transformed into wisdom and strength. This isn't about escaping life. It's about living life with a clarity and courage most people never discover. It's about becoming so steady, so rooted, that the storms of life cannot move you. You are no longer a prisoner of circumstances. You are the master of your own inner world. And when you reach this place, you don't just survive, you thrive. You carry a peace that no one can take away. You carry a strength that grows with every challenge. You carry a light that shines even in the darkest times. That is the way of the monk who lives where pain cannot survive. And it is a path available to all of us, if we choose it.